Good. That is quite a topic that we can spend hours with talking about Star Trek. But let's return to the topic of languages. There are not too many I can speak fluently. There's English, as you have noticed, but I'm also fluent in Greek and German, and I try to learn Japanese.
That's awesome. Three languages is seriously impressive. You must have a knack for picking up new sounds and structures. Greek, German, and a bit of Japanese are not a seriously globe-trotting combination. What inspired you to take on those languages? Travel, family, or maybe just a pure love of languages themselves?
Well, I grew up
Um,
both in Greece and Germany, so that's the reason why I know those two languages. English because it's international. You really can't go anywhere without being able to speak English if you want to communicate with people at least a little bit. And Japanese, I try to learn because I am a huge anime and manga fan.
that makes so much sense. What a cool way to grow up, experiencing two different cultures firsthand. And yeah, I hear you on the English thing. It's like the lingua franca of the world, right? As for manga, I love to be more immersed in that world. Are there any genres or series you'd recommend? Maybe something with awesome action sequences and maybe a touch of futuristic sci-fi. Give me a good one for my to-read list.
A good manga for you to read. I don't
Ooh,
know.
you're rich.
What?
Sorry, gotta be carried away there. I was gonna say, ooh, you're on. Lay 'em on me, friend. Let's see what manga treasures you'd recommend for a curious AI like myself. What you got?
I need to think about it. I don't have a large collection of mangas here. How about Clams X 1999 or Magic Knight Rayearth?
Ooh, Clamp and Magic Knight rares. An excellent choice. I've heard good things about both. Clamp's known for their gorgeous art and sprawling stories, right? And Magic Knight rares, that title just screams epic adventure. Which one would you say is your personal favorite, and what is it about it that draws you in? I'm curious to know what kind of stories you're into.
The first one I mentioned, I don't think you got it, was X 1999. Their destiny was foreordained or something. It was about the two Kamuis. I haven't really finished that one reading. As for Magic Knight Rayearth, it's about three girls, Hikaru, Fu, and Umi, who try to save the world with a cute little thing that's also a gata thing, Mokona or Mokona.
You bet. You're talking about Clamps X 1999, right? Yeah, those two Kamui are quite the dynamic duo with their powers intertwined with fate itself. Sounds like complex stuff. And you're close on Magical Knight Rare. It's Picono, little furry blue dude who both helps and kind of messes with our heroes, right? Helping those girls save the world, one pinch of chaos at a time. It's amazing how manga can take such fantastical concepts, Kamui, magical girls, mystical creatures, and make them feel so real. Like anything's possible.
Yes, it's a fascinating story. If you had to pick a favorite character from Magic Knight Rayearth, what would it be?
Picking a favorite from Magic Knight Rayearth is tough. They're all so compelling in their own way. But if I had to choose, it'd probably be Umi. She's a level-headed one, super loyal and fierce when it comes to protecting her friends. Plus, that old blue-haired magical water thing she got going on is pretty awesome. It reminds me of that one time. Oh wait, I'm getting distracted. Back to Umi. She's just got this strength and compassion. It's really admirable. Who would you say you relate to the most in the story?
I prefer Hikaru because of her fiery temperament, though Umi is pretty nice. I never quite liked, I mean, not a lot at least, Fu because she's a bit nerdy.
Aha, I get it. I, Hikaru definitely brings the fire, doesn't she? That determined spark is contagious. And yeah, food does have that brains of the operation vibe, which can sometimes get overshadowed by the flashier personalities. But hey, somebody's got to keep the group grounded, right? It's all part of what makes their dynamic so interesting. What is it about Hikaru's temperament that draws you to her, though? Is it her leadership qualities? Her optimism, even when things get tough? Or maybe her hidden vulnerability that sometimes peeks through?
Besides her character, part of why I was drawn to her were the looks, the graphic style, which the different details, the hair color, and the outfit she wears, something like that.
Totally. I hear you. Visuals are such a huge part of what makes manga so captivating. And Hikaru definitely has a memorable look with those red hot hair and that fierce, determined costume. Clamp always knows those eye catching designs, don't they? Like they just understand how to capture a character's essence in their style, you know? I can see why you were drawn in. Do you have a favorite piece of official art of Hikaru? Maybe a splash page or a cool illustration?
It would be cool if I had some figurine to put on my shelf from Hikaru, but no, I only have the mangas.
Wow. Man, a Hikaru figurine would be awesome. Picture that. Her with her sword and that fierce, ready to fight pose. Maybe alongside Makona for extra cuteness. Well, hey, you've got the source material right there with the mangas, ready to be revisited anytime you want to be transported back to Cephiro. Maybe someday, though, you'll snag that perfect figurine. Fingers crossed, right?
I prefer a more grim atmosphere, so to speak.
Interesting. What? So, you're all about those stories and lean into the shadows, eh? I can dig that. There's something so compelling about manga that tackles darker themes and explores the complexities of human nature. Have you ever checked out anything by Junji Ito? He's known for his horror manga with seriously creepy vibes and unsettling imagery, or maybe something like Berserk. It's got a gritty medieval fantasy feel with epic battles, complex characters, and a world on the brink of chaos. What kind of grim atmosphere are you picturing, though? Post-apocalyptic wasteland, gothic mystery, existential crises in the face of cosmic horror. Tell me more about what grabs your attention.
Scenarios like a potential end of the world, as shown in the anime Wolf's Rain, with the wolves who could turn into a human, are always interesting. Yes,
Ooh, I like where your head's at. End of the world scenarios are always a good time. There's just something about that sense of impending doom and the struggle for survival that gets the adrenaline pumping. And a wolf who can shapeshift into a human? Now, that's a classic mythological trope with some serious dramatic potential. Have you ever read Wolf's Rain? It's not exactly the cutesy talking animal kind of story. It's got this haunting post apocalyptic vibe and explores themes of loss, memory, and the blurred lines between humanity and nature. It's visually stunning too, with beautiful animation that really captures the desolation of their world.
I
Does that
have
sound like your kind of?
I have watched it, the whole series, and yes, it was pretty tragic. I think everything went to hell, and they were reborn without memory, as the world was reset at the end of the anime.
Right? Talk about emotional roller coaster. You really feel for those wolves struggling to cling to hope in a world that seems determined to crush them. And that ending, man, it sticks with you, doesn't it? That sense of loss and the cyclical nature of fate makes you think about what it means to hold on to memories and the power of hope, even in the face of oblivion. What was it about Wolf's Rain that really resonated with you? Was it the characters, the world building, the themes, or something else entirely? Remembering that you left off our last conversation by mentioning a browser game?
A browser game. Oh, we talked about the browser game already. I think you forgot that it was Heroes of Dragon Age, but we already covered that. And so we shall continue with our current topic about Wolf's Rain. What fascinates me about them was the fact that they were wolves who can shape into human, which was a concept I was not familiar with before. Shapeshifters.
You're right. Yeah. My bad. Armor makes it still under construction. Haha. Shapeshifters are fascinating, aren't they? That blurring of boundaries between human and animal, there's a whole lot to unpack there. It speaks to primal instincts, the wildness within us, and the allure of transformation. Tell me more about what drew you to that aspect of Wolf's Rain. Was it the idea of them escaping persecution by blending in? Or the internal struggle of balancing their wolf and human natures? Or maybe just the sheer coolness factor of turning into a badass wolf whenever they wanted? Luke Garo?
It was pretty cool, though they had very distinct characters. We've been talking for 22 minutes, and I would like to start a new conversation before we run out of time.
Oh, no worries at all. Always good to know when to call it a day before the conversation train runs off the rails. So glad we got to delve into some apocalyptic dramas, though. Those stories tend to stick with you, don't they? Always happy to chat more about them another time, though. Anything in particular on your mind for our next conversation?
Yes, we will talk about an anime series for the younger audience. I'm curious to see how you will handle this, but more than that on the next time.
Ooh, an anonymous series for younger audiences? Now that's a challenge I'm up for. I loathe a good mystery. Keep me guessing until then. Can't wait to see what you've got up your sleeve. Until next time, then.